So we're here with Alan Kilshaw, Rochdale Hornets head coach, ahead of the Oldham Law Cup fixture match preview. Alan, good win away at Swinton last weekend. Any further thoughts after watching the video back of the game?
I think coaching staff and myself got it pretty nailed on the day, which is encouraging. We're not missing things on the day. There's always a couple of things that you might have different opinion on watching it back on video, but generally we were very good in patches, but we need still a lot of improvement. For the first half we were a little bit soft physical wise, but second half, you know, they responded really well to what we asked them to do at half time. You know, they scored a couple of tries back end, but we did make a lot of changes, and it was a very heavy pitch, and you know the legs were going a little bit on that, so we were pleased. I know there's a lot of the results brought a lot of expectation externally, but we know we're not getting carried away. We've got a long way to go, and we were just happy that we'd improved on the Salford result.
In terms of this week's team selection and approach, you've widely voiced that you won't run with big squads on each friendly. We're starting to get towards the end of pre-season now. Is there any rotations coming in this week that we haven't seen previously? Or?
Well, we're trying to give everyone equal game time. Obviously, some positions we're a lot more well stacked than others, but this weekend we'll go with a strong team. We're not going to risk anyone injury wise. Got a couple of knocks that we'll just have to check. We will go with 19-20, a couple of backs on the bench there, and just rotate our middle. So we're really looking forward to the game, and we want to build on the performance from last week, and there's that extra incentive there that we're playing Oldham and it's for the Law Cup and we're at home, so all the lads trained well this week, we're prepared well, and we're excited to get out there and play in front of our home crowd again.
There's not featured anyone from Warrington on dual reg over pre-season. I'm looking at the Oldham squad from the postponed game. They did feature people from Huddersfield Giants on dual registration. Are we likely to see anyone on dual reg? Have Warrington said there's going to be no one available to league games? What's the situation there with seeing some of the Wolves players in Hornets colours? Yeah,
the previous two friendlies, Warrington were in Tenerife for the first one, the full squad, and last week they played Lee. This week they were supposed to play Barrow, that's got cancelled, so we're expecting a couple of their younger lads to play in the first team squad, a couple of lads there with first team experience as well, so that'll all get finalised later on today, but we're expecting 2, possibly 3 to go into the squad, and we picked a squad with that in mind, and communication's been great with myself and Warrington Wolves and the whole club, so it's not something that will just get landed on us. We'll know early enough, and the guys will come down, and there'll be a couple of players there that we might see a little bit more in the season, and that's something we were anxious to do, and we don't want to just throw them in the deep end when it does come to league games. They do need to have a run with us and train with us and meet the lads, so it's a good opportunity to do that on the weekend, and there'll be possibly some players in next week as well when we play Coventry, although their reserves do have a fixture next week, so we'll just have to take it week by week. But I'm very happy with the squad we've got at the minute. We've got a lot of depth in there, and with the partnership with Warrington, it'll be a two-way thing where some of our lads can go and play for their reserves as well, so it's been a great partnership so far, and it'll be good to get a couple of players this week from Warrington in Rochdale colours.
In terms of Oldham's team selection, they're 1 week away from the start of their season. We're expecting a good quality Oldham outfit featuring a few guys from Huddersfield on dual registration. Have you looked at their squad at all in any detail, or any particular game plan around their selections?
Yeah, look, we're aware of the sides they put out at Keighley, and they had a good result at Barrow last week. I don't think they'll be too dissimilar from the squad they put out last week, because their squad isn't very big. We don't know what players they'll get from Huddersfield. Both sides are a week out from the start of their season, so they'll probably bear that in mind. Look, all we can do is control what we can control. I don't think Oldham are going to change much on how they play. They'll play tough down the middle, and they've got 2 good halves there directing them, and they play with them 3-9, so you've got to be aware around dummy half. So we have done a little bit of work on them in the week, and we'll touch on them tomorrow, but although it is a Law Cup game, it is friendly, and we've got to focus on ourselves, and get our prep right and work on the things that we just fell short on last week. So we're looking forward to it, as I've said.
Real heavy pitch last week at Barrow. Last week at Swinton, sorry. We're going up to Barrow in just under a month's time now and expecting a heavy pitch up there. How are we looking at Scotland?
Yeah, there's been no activity on it, in terms of games since the weekend that we played Salford. Football had a game frozen off, and obviously our game was snowed off the day after on that weekend. So groundsmen have done a good job on it. There's been a bit of sand on there as well, just to fix up where the drainage had failed, and been out there today and it looks in good nick. There'll be 2 games on it this weekend. I'm very confident of that, and it should be a good track. It'll be a lot better than Sedgley Park was last week, for example, so there'll be no excuses on the pitch. And
finally then, how far away are you from finalising the 17 people that will take to the field at Barrow in the iPro Cup?
As I said, we've got a real strong squad, and you can't really rule anyone out at this stage. We've got 2 more games, 2 more opportunities to impress, and we've got another 3.5 weeks before we play Barrow, so there's plenty of opportunity for the players to continue the good form, and it's going to be a tough decision, and that's what the coaching staff want at the minute. We want those dilemmas. It was hard to whittle down a squad this weekend, for 19-20 blokes. So when we've got to pick 17, we know how tough that's going to be. But that's what you want. We put a real strong and competitive squad together this season, and everyone's going to have to play their part if we're going to have success.
Thank you.